Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Been in an accident? Call the bros, bruh. Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers. Don't guess your next step, and don't let the insurance company rush you. The bros help protect your claim, handle the hassle, and fight for what's fair. 540-888-8888. If you were injured in an accident, get help now from the best. Call 540-888-8888. Put the number in your phone right now for when you need it. 888-8888. The Skinner Brothers.
Welcome to another edition of the TSS podcast, brought to you in association with Luke 1977 and Bowden and Dolphin, with your hosts Rob Carless from Bob's Books and the legend that is Shaun Teale. He's here, there, and everywhere, and he's Tealey saying something.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the TSS podcast. We are live again. You all know the abbreviation by now. It is, of course, the Tealey Sayin something podcast. About 4 years ago now, Tealey and I got together. We did his book. It sold in its thousands, better than J.K. Rowling and all those kind of guys. And then we decided that we do the world's biggest podcast. So Narbrough as well, where I live, and we've got other people on. We're more worldwide today, but we'll come on to that in a minute. So, Mr. Shaun Teale, we haven't done this show now for about 4 or 5 weeks now. Brownie's been off on his jollies. He has had to pay for it, which obviously differs to what you normally do. So, yeah, we haven't been able to do it. So there's loads to talk about. So first and foremost, how you doing, Shaun?
I'm all right, Rob. How are you?
Very well, sir. I have missed your dulcet tones over the last couple of weeks. You inspired me when you were at the Witten Arms a few weeks ago and you were talking about the conspiracy of losing to Spurs and all that kind of stuff.
It was obviously true because it paid off.
Exactly. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll do a catch up, and then we'll introduce our very, very special guest tonight. We're going to make this show. Obviously, the big talking point at the moment is the Europa League final, to which we are participating in. But we'll come on to that in a minute. That's going to take up quite a lot of the show today, but obviously we'll have a few updates. And before we go into all the banter and all that kind of stuff, Shaun, tell everybody about Carol. We all know that she's been ill lately. She's gone through a lot of chemo and all that kind of stuff. You and I have been keeping in touch. Give us an update.
Well, she finished her last chemo session last Thursday. So that's that out of the way, thank goodness, because it does leave her completely drained and not feeling very well. So she's on that downward spiral since the chemo. So a couple more days and she should pick up again. And then she's got 3 weeks, more or less, complete rest before she starts a radiotherapy. But the radiotherapy, as they've led to believe us, is nowhere near as bad. So she'll have a 5-day session, five consecutive days, and then she's done. And then really all she has then is a load of injections over months and years just for a bone, because it weakens your bones. Obviously, the chemo kills everything; it weakens everything. So they've got to build all that back up. But she's getting there. She's getting there. It's going to take months for her to get back to square one. But we knew that at the start, so it is what it is.
Yeah, of course it is. And she puts posts on social media, and within minutes she gets loads of love and loads of comments from people, including myself and Claire as well. So the whole Villa family are with her. We know how much the club means to you guys. I certainly do. So, big love to Carol at this moment. And again, this show is dedicated to that beautiful Mrs. T. And obviously, you're making a big thing about running around after her and all that kind of stuff. And I bet you're making yourself look a right saint. Right, we've had our first note. coming through off the brilliant Rob Cook. Hi, Rob. Keep up all that great work you're doing for charity. Sending well wishes to Carol at this difficult time. Good luck, Bab. And with Rob being a yam, you can imagine that good luck, Bab. How it's going to sound as well. A bit like us Birmingham people, but there you go. Right, and of course we've got to say hello to him, haven't we? He's the man that puts everything into action for us. He's been away lately, and if you look at him, he's grown a white beard again, and he's probably got a T-shirt with my face on there as well, trying to copy me. Chris Browne, our producer, how are you doing?
I'm sort of like a younger version, aren't I, really? I think.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I did say, so we had, Shaun, just to let you know, we did an event with Martin Granger about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I sat with Chris and we had a video made, all professionally and whatever. And I took a still of myself and Chris and I said it was me sitting there with my granddad.
It looked awful, that did. I weren't happy about it.
It wasn't. You're not going to take me to court, are you?
It looks awful.
Absolutely. Right, Shaun.
So you actually ended up looking younger than Chris?
It was
It's
difficult.
a trick of the eye.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going for the handlebar.
Oh, I was doing that as well. I've been doing that.
I'm growing this part as well. So I'm gonna look like an artist.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, what I have to put up with you two.
Are you going for the pointy bit, Rob?
I am going to go for the pointy bit.
Okay, just so they know not to do the pointy bit.
Yeah. And I'm going to get the tight, skinny jeans and the boots and all that kind of stuff.
I've got all that.
And then start living in London, drinking in London. In the East End of London and all that kind of stuff. Talking about London, just before we go on, Rob's shameless plug. Did you see me on Talk Sport?
Right then, let's switch off.
I knew you were on, but I didn't listen to it.
Oh, that's okay because I'll send you. I've got videos galore of it.
So, it's only the fact that you plugged this book 3 million times on the podcast, so I didn't need to listen to it all again.
It was really good, to be honest with you, because I went into the Hawksby and Jacob studio and it was live, and it was a really good experience. Paul Hawksby was in there, but it was Charlie Baker with him, and they had so many guests on. So many guests. We were like 15, about 10 minutes to go through everything. So I messed up at the start. I said hello, gents, instead of hello, gents.
What a prat.
Yeah, exactly. But then I went into
To be fair, you have got a face for radio, Rob, haven't you?
Yeah.
But then I started with my beautiful tones, and that was it. Then I was off and running. And now they want me to do my own show, which is going to take place. And if you believe that,
Nothing to do with football.
Nothing to do with football. It's how I can go around Shoreditch with this beard of mine. That's what it is. Absolutely. Good to see that we've got Louise putting a comment on as well. Love you, Carol Teale. I love the relationship that those guys have got. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is. So
Evening, Lou.
Yeah, evening, Lou. We love you.
Hello, Lou.
So that was what I did. Where did you go on your little break? I think it was for about 4 weeks, wasn't it, Mr. Browne?
I actually went
I
went to Canaries. Never been before, strangely. No, never been. I went to Gran Canaria. It was really nice. Yeah,
you know what's happening now? Shaun's looking now in Gran Canaria to see if he's got any family. That he could go and have his free holidays.
Yeah, it was nice. And of course, it coincided with the worst weather in the Canaries for 40 years. Marvellously.
So it was like being at home then?
It was, yeah. I still managed to get out in the sun, you know what I mean? I managed to get the old thong on and, this... on the second week, I turned it round and, fine.
Brilliant. I mean, did you have your top off like Tealey does when he goes away?
Of course, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we could have done it. We could have done an outdoor podcast.
We do a few things for the women, don't we?
Yeah. Absolutely. Right, let's get on to the football then. So much to talk about since we, I think it was probably March when we did our last one.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Teale, in your ambassadorial role, don't mention the word freebie there, Browne. Don't mention that word. Right.
Shaun Freely.
Exactly. So just to let you know, I don't think we've done one since the West Ham game, have we? And I saw that's right. So I was with John Gregory for the in the very posh seats.
Yeah,
Shaun gets me so.
only in the oak room.
Only in the oak room, yeah. Only in the oak room.
The
Nice
poshest of posh.
a nice 5 course meal in there. It was absolutely, the prawn sandwiches were absolutely delightful. So, Brownie, just to let you know, Tealey gets me so far into Villa Park, and then he hands the baton over to John Gregory, and then that's it. Then I'm in with the stars. In with the stars.
Listen. I have no pull at that place whatsoever.
No. So you're in with the Stars and Teale.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
got you.
And he was good to get the drinks in. I used to just click my fingers at him and he'd go and get the drinks in from. Now, I'll tell you what, in fairness, I was really impressed with him because he was down at pitch side, showing everybody around.
Yeah.
And considering that he played for us for 4 years and he's from up north, he's knowledge of the Villa is really good. So I am officially on this live podcast sticking up for Shaun Teale. I am. I'm doing that. Right. So first and foremost, before we talk about the game from last week, which I presume you went to.
Of course.
You did. Good. Right. We'll come on to that in a minute. But are we going to finish in the top 5, Shaun?
Yes.
Okay. 100%.
That was a good show.
It was a good show, wasn't it?
Yeah, we will turn Liverpool over on Friday night.
Yeah. I mean, did you go to Burnley as it was quite close?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't do away games.
Unless they're free tickets.
No one goes to Burnley.
Unless, well, no, actually, that's not true because I paid for Preston in the cup last year.
Did you?
Yeah.
And you haven't forgot about it?
Right.
I could listen. I could go to Istanbul if I want because there's a ticket there for me.
Oh.
But I'm not because it's 160 quid just for the ticket.
Typical Northerner. How much? How much? Typical.
160 quid, eh?
Actually, that's not quite cheap.
It's not so much the price of the ticket. That wouldn't bother me. It's the fact that because it's so late in the day now, flights are at a premium now, accommodations at a massive premium. You're talking probably for just me to go on my own. It's probably best part of 1,500 quid.
It's madness, I think.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm due to move house in the next week or so I just haven't got the time.
Plus, what you could have done is taken the guy that worked with you on the book and looked after him, for that. But you obviously, haven't thought about that one, have you?
Well, have you got a spare 1,500 quid, Rob?
Not really. Not
Well,
really.
there you go.
But do you remember,
You've
I've been in Chris Brown's house a lot, so I know for a fact that he's got it.
Oh, come on! You must have made that just on Tealey's book.
Oh
yeah, he did.
Yeah, totally. Right. So I want to focus on before we start talking about the actual final itself. I want to talk about the Tottenham game first and foremost. The Sunday beforehand. We all knew that it was that at that stage when we saw the team that Unai was definitely looking at Europe as in the semi-final as his priority on that one. You can't take anything away from Tottenham in that game because I thought they played really well. They were up for it. You could see it when they were all tub thumping and all that kind of stuff, that they were up for it. But I never went. Shaun, was you there on that Sunday?
I was, and it was pretty dreadful, to be honest. There was the atmosphere from the minute I got there right till I left was just very strange. And what made it even more strange was Unai Emery's antics, or should I say lack of antics on the touchline. Because we all know Unai jumps around like a flea, he's all over the place. He barely sits down. But for the Tottenham game, he literally stood in the corner of the box where they're allowed to go and really didn't move and really didn't say anything. He just stood and watched as if he knew what was coming. And it was just a weird scenario watching the whole game. But yeah, you're right, Rob. Tottenham, to be fair, were by far the better team. Looked more up for it than we did, which makes you wonder because there were 7 changes, so there's 7 players trying to prove their worth to the manager and basically let themselves down. pretty badly, to be honest. I went in the Whitton after the game, and there was a funny vibe in there. People were saying, this, that, and the other. So when I got my turn on the mic, I gave them my synopsis of basically what had happened. That Unai Emery expected it to happen. He was more hell bent on resting players, hoping that Tottenham winning will put pressure on Forest, which it probably did, but it didn't make any difference because Forest turned up at Chelsea and absolutely mauled Chelsea with 8 changes. So then you start thinking, has it all backfired? And then, of course, we get to the Thursday night and everything clicks into place and we just look like a different side. Probably as well as we've played probably all season, if I'm quite honest. I just thought we were terrific on the night. To a man, really. Everybody stepped up, played well, and we looked a real good team.
We'll come on to the semi-final one in a couple of minutes, but it did make me laugh that on that video that was taken with you, because you were up there with Peter With, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So when you were giving your Churchillian little speech, which I loved, it was so cool the way you was doing it. By the way. Peter With was looking like, what the hell is Teale talking about? You watch that video again, honestly, you watch it again and you'll see exactly what I mean. I mean, the Forest, they went away to who did they beat?
3-0.
Chelsea. Or 3-1 or whatever it was. That game was over after the first 10, 15 minutes or so. But you sounded really confident that we would turn over Nottingham Forest. And one thing that I picked up with Villa fans, and we'll ask our guest this in a minute when we introduce him, but one thing I got off Villa fans was there seemed to be, we lost the first leg 1-0. We were in that game with them. It took a penalty decision, which VAR overturned to make it a penalty. And we can all say that Dean shouldn't have put his hands up for it and all that kind of stuff. But there was a lot of negativity with the Villa fans. I went the other way, and I actually mentioned it on the H&J show. Did I tell you that I was in the Talk Sports studio?
God,
that's what did I mention that? And I actually said to them, I fancied a 3-1 victory. But Shaun, you sounded confident that we would turn events over and go through. Were you as confident as you looked on that video, or was you just hiding a little bit?
No, I don't think the first leg was a particularly good game. I couldn't see either team scoring. I mean, the penalty was quite farcical in the end, but I don't think either team played well enough to have won the game. So going into the second leg, I was confident, and I suppose there was a heightened confidence simply because they had so many injuries, which was always going to affect them. And then obviously they lost their main man on the Sunday. And that was just a weird one, because why bring him on when you're 2-0 up, when there's no point for him to get sparked out, massive cut down his face, always never going to play. It was all right saying, he's had a mask done and this and that. There's no way on earth with that kind of cut was he ever going to play. And he'd be lucky if he plays the games for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Why do you think Nuno? There was, when I looked at him, and I saw him with the cuts and whatever, I thought there's no chance will he get on this pitch at some point. Because of what you've just said there. What do you think?
There was no chance. There was no chance of Nuno putting him on anyway.
Did I say Nuno?
Yeah.
You know what? I did that just to make sure that you were listening to me.
I was listening. So yeah.
Oh dear.
You're right. It made no sense. He brought Morgan Gibbs White on. He brought Elliot and Anderson on, and he brought Chris Woods on. And you think, why? You're 2-0 up. You're cruising. Why do you need to bring any of them on? And yet, maybe he just wanted to get a few more minutes in the legs, but they've played all season, so it's not that they need the fitness side of it. So it just did not make sense. And then, he loses his main man, Morgan Gibbs-White, who, whatever anybody I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of him personally. I just, there's something about him I don't like. But as a player, he certainly makes things happen. So, I just thought he played into our hands with that.
Pivotal moments in the game. But actually, before we do that, the first leg I thought was a very European game played by two English teams. Didn't want to give much away. Had men behind the ball, were happy to spray the ball around and then look for a moment to make that kill, which obviously happened with Forest in that first leg.
Yeah.
But the second leg was definitely different, and Villa showed why we've been in Europe for the last 2 or 3 seasons and why Forest haven't, in my opinion, on that one. But to me, we ruled the first half and we went 1 up at half time. But the pivotal moment was that through ball that Chris Woods ran onto. I think we were 2-0 up at that stage. And,
Yeah, we were.
And Woods, that could have made a big difference. But yet again, the man who won the World Cup, and let's face it, he did win the World Cup for him in the end in 2022. He was there again, Johnny, on the spot, making the big calls and the big moments in the big games. That could have really turned it. But John McGinn was just really up for it, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean that's sort of what you'd expect from your captain at the end of the day. He'd had a terrific game right through the game, so to pop up with 2 in 3 minutes was unbelievable. But you're right. I mean, Emmy's save from Chris Woods was a great save, really. And he's done that all his career. So that was a pivotal moment, and then obviously to go down the other end and bang the third in just changes everything. And I think they knew, and their supporters knew by the end of it that the best team won.
So you spoke about the atmosphere against Spurs, how flat it was. I watched it on TV. I could sense it myself. I could feel it.
Yeah.
So conversely, what was the atmosphere like? From the start.
Well,
the big thing that I wanted was to get all the fans read up from minute 1.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a complete flip. It was a complete 360. The atmosphere on the Thursday was unbelievable. And I'll say it again, I've said it a million times. The only time I've heard a better atmosphere to the one on Thursday night was the Tranmere semi-final.
Yeah.
When we were 3-1 down, obviously, and got back to level it and win on penalties. But it was a terrific atmosphere on Thursday, better than the Bayern atmosphere, and that was good. The club did the old flags thing that spelt the Villa name on the holes and things like that, and it just gave it that visual effect as well as the sound effect. So yeah, it was terrific. And then of course, as because we set off on the right foot, the crowd just get behind you more and more and more. It would have set off slowly. It might have died off a bit, but it didn't, because we literally got right at them straight from the start. And then of course we get the break, a bit of magic from Emi Buendia's feet, and Ollie gets a tapping, I suppose it is. But from then on, it was just about how many we could score. I think.
Could you sense that we were going to go through? For when the game kicked off,
yeah, I could sense it. I could sense it before. I could really sense it before kickoff. Yeah. It was just the atmosphere was electric, and you just felt if the players buy into it as the fans have, then we'll be all right. And so it proved. 4-0 was a drubbing in the end, and not just because of the 4 goals. The performance and how we kept them so quiet was fantastic.
We really have become a good European side, given the fact that we haven't really participated in the Conference League when we played Liège Warsaw, and we lost that game 3-2.
So I mean, going on what Rob's on about, it's basically it's a learning curve, Europe, isn't it? So Conference League the first year we weren't fantastic. We were okay. We got to semi-finals. And lost to Olympiacos, and deservedly so. They were better than us. And then obviously last year we had Champions League where we probably did better than anybody really expected us to. Getting to quarterfinals, getting beat by the eventual winners, Paris Saint-Germain, and beating them at Villa Park was massive. And I just think we've learned from that experience, and Unai knows so much about playing in Europe that, he has a way of playing. He knows how to nullify teams. And this year we've been exceptional. I think is it 9, 10 wins on the bounce in the Europa League. It's the form's there to just go now to Istanbul and finish the job off.
Right, can you hear me first?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm back. I'm
yeah.
back. Right, okay. I did a song and dance for the people at home just in case they could watch what I was doing. Right, let's talk about the final now then. Our second one in, 44 years, something like that. So, a lot of fans...
This one in colour, by the way.
Yes, very
Oh,
funny.
did he? I knew he'd be sniggering.
Of course he would. Maybe we're going to the Virtu Cup Final against Peterborough, but I don't know whether we'll have time to do that. But,
that's called a trophy.
Exactly.
Or the Leyland Daft.
Yeah, that's called a trophy as well.
The Leyland Daft. Right.
Yeah.
So we've had fans on social media talking about trying to get tickets, and some are flying from Birmingham, some are flying from other parts of the UK for it.
Litchfield.
Our special guest tonight will be flying from South Africa to make it. So, in time on a tradition, has joined us tonight. Reza, welcome.
Hi, greetings, guys. Nice to be on the show. Thank you very much.
First and foremost, what part of South Africa are you in?
Johannesburg, the major city.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where does the Villa love come from then? Because I presume that with your accent there, you sound like you're from South Africa there. Where does the Villa love come from?
Well, I've got family from Birmingham for one. And incidentally, my dad, when he was a youngster, played for a club in South Africa called Aston Villa, right? When I was around 4 or 5 years of age, I joined a team in South Africa called Aston Villa, and my dad mentioned to me when he'd come, he'd have to take me to the grounds every Sunday morning for my games, etc. And he would tell me that the real Aston Villa is from England, and that my aunt lived very close to the ground. So when I was a youngster, went across to Birmingham, watched my first game, early 70s or something like that. And that was it. The rest is history, as they say. I'd been a Villa fan all my life, can't think of anything else. Villa's all I've ever known. And Shaun will tell you, we've had some wonderful times over the last 35 years. Dream Villa, sleep Villa, eat Villa. That's what it's like,
Oh, superb.
I've just seen an old friend of mine, Lou, just come on. Hello, Lou.
Buddy.
Hello, Lou. How you doing?
Tealey!
What?
Can you shout a little bit more, Lou? I've got my headphones on here.
Mine are super sensitive as well.
Exactly.
I'm
Lou,
sorry to the blue nose.
Don't worry about it.
Exactly. I'll come on to you in a minute, Lou, if I may.
It's okay.
So I've been asking people about their travel arrangements and what they're going to be doing. And obviously the vast majority of that, Rez, is coming from the UK over to Turkey via various other countries to keep the cost down. What's your journey going to look like, Rez?
Well, for one, it's quite an expensive one, but one well worth it, really. And it's a long trip because I had the option of flying directly from Johannesburg to Istanbul, but that was just... the flights were crazy. So it's Johannesburg, Qatar, Doha, 3.5 4 hour layover, and from there on to Istanbul. And that's this coming Sunday. And then, of course, we're there for about a week before we head back to South Africa the same way. So really looking forward to it.
Okay, so it's not a fly-by-night type of thing then. You are making a good holiday out of it.
Yeah, we might as well because of the distance. It's going to take us 17 hours to get there. So you might as well, spend a few more days. My lad who lives in Dublin in Ireland, he's flying over. He's a Villa season ticket holder, so he's flying over with his wife for the game. And then my youngest son from Johannesburg also got a ticket a couple of days ago. So we're a family. We're all going over. There'll be 5 of us at the game. So we're looking forward to it, really.
And what are your plans around the Tuesday, Wednesday? Obviously, I know what your plans are on the Wednesday night, but are you looking
Get
to
drunk.
meet up with? Shut up, Teale. Are you looking to meet up with the Villa family as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at the moment, as you've seen on social media, Rob, fans are already asking around where the gatherings will be. So I reckon from Tuesday already, as fans start to get in, from some of the main spots in and around the vicinity of the actual stadium. Taksim will be really busy with Villa fans. Besiktas Square will also be busy. So, Tuesday is all about really getting out to meet as many Villa fans as possible. And then come Wednesday, match day would be something very similar. I think a lot more will converge because a lot of fans are only getting in Wednesday morning for those who can't get there the day before. And it's just to really network, meet with a lot of old friends. As you can imagine, I know thousands of Villa fans over the years. So looking forward to, meeting with a lot of old friends. And then the build up to the game before, the big kickoff at 9 o'clock, walking down to the stadium. So yeah, that's really what's planned. And hopefully by 11 o'clock local time, Istanbul, we'll be witnessing Aston Villa, raise the Europa League trophy.
Yes, that would be nice. That would be nice. One thing I've noticed, Rez, I mean, as you probably can tell by the accent, I'm from South Kensington in London.
Cute.
And
I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I live down south now, but spent a lot of time in Birmingham. So, I always only knew Villa fans from Birmingham sort of thing. But ever since I've moved down here and I've started working with the Cornwall Lions and the Hampshire Lions and all those kind of guys, you really do get, a good feel for how universal it can be to be an Aston Villa fan. And I think it's absolutely wonderful what you're doing, that you're going for a week as well. It's just absolutely wonderful. What I'd like to do, Rez, if you're interested, is come back on the show in a couple of weeks, hopefully when we've won the trophy, and then you can tell us all about what you planned and what actually happened and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, certainly will. Yeah, thank you, Rob. But wanted to say something as well. I mean, you speak about Villa being universal, right? Absolutely, it is. I mean, there isn't a place that I go to where I don't meet a Villa fan, whether it's in the Middle East or, the Americas, etc. You're always bumping into a Villa fan somewhere along the line. And we're a massive club. Shaun will at some point let you know about his experiences with us in South Africa. And I think, Shawnee, you were surprised in '94 when you came out, when you saw what the supporters club and what Villa support was like in South Africa. We spent a lot of time together. Meeting Nelson Mandela and all that kind of thing. So we certainly are universal, Rob. And, maybe at another time we'll have an opportunity to discuss that in a little bit more detail.
One question that I know Browne be thinking.
You're thinking the same thing. Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Did Shaun Teale buy drinks? Did he buy a round at all?
He's got to think hard, look.
He's bought me a drink before. I can vouch for that. He has bought a drink.
He was probably very, 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 very good.
Listen, Aston Villa, Shaun Teale, and the rest of the blokes were guests of ours. All right. So there was no necessity for Shawnee or any of them to get a round of drinks.
Got away with that one, didn't you, Shaun?
Right. And Shaun, you're always welcome out here.
You know what? Funny enough, we did get to go out a couple of times. It was the weirdest scenario ever because you go to the bar for a drink and you've got armed guards walking around with you. Everywhere we went, we had to have armed guards. And you know what? I actually can't remember whether any of us bought a drink or whether we were just given drinks. I really can't remember. It's a long time ago. Don't forget. But yeah, we over in South Africa, we had a terrific time. We had such a great time. We played obviously 3 games, but it was the downtime that was more fun. Going to the likes of Soweto, coaching kids and doing bits and bobs. It was a real eye opener for most of us. And it definitely goes down as my best ever end of season trip.
I can imagine. And Rez, was that the first time that you met our Teale?
No, it was actually the season or two before in Mauritius, wasn't it, Johnny? When we played Everton.
Yeah, we played Everton in Mauritius.
It was quite weird because half the team was sick with altitude sickness, and Ron Atkinson come up to me and asked me, "What size boots do you wear?" And I said I was size 11. He said, "Well, you're on the bench tonight. You're playing." It was weird. It was crazy. There was. Anyway, I used to play football, so it was okay.
I bet you did a better job than Teale did. But hey, Teale, you know I love you. That's why words on your book with you. Right. So, Lou.
Yeah.
Are you going to Istanbul?
I am indeed.
Wow. Come on, then.
Do sharks shit in the sea?
I knew it was going to be a silly question, but I had to ask it as the host. Tell us what your plans are.
So I fly out Monday afternoon from Bristol. And then fly into Bodrum and then get a flight from Bodrum into Istanbul.
Right, my first question is, where's Bodrum?
South
Turkey.
Southwest.
In Turkey, you muppet.
Yeah. Near my
but I don't get into Istanbul until 20 to 1 in the morning.
Okay. On what day is that?
Tuesday.
So Tuesday. So you're going to be all right for Wednesday then?
Yeah, absolutely fine. There's in our hotel. There's about I dread to think how many are staying in our hotel. We're near Taskinham Square. I mean, in our group, there's about 8 of us, and then there's
together.
Yeah, we're all staying together. I think the general consensus is that they're going to stay up and wait for me to land at the hotel. And then probably have a drink and then go to bed.
Probably have a drink.
Probably have a drink, yeah. And then wait for my other friend, Lynn, to arrive then on Tuesday, and one of the other lads that sits behind me. And then we'll probably have a drink on Tuesday night and then get ready to go to the game on Wednesday, which we're going to stay at the hotel, as we did our sightseeing when we played Fenerbahce. And then me and Lynn are going to go up the ground early because I want to go and take my flag and get my flag out, and just soak it all in. This is massive. I was 2 months old when we won the European Cup. It's massive.
Really? Oh yeah.
You must have had a long paper round, Lee.
It was on your third marriage.
So it's massive. I mean, this is what doing the last 3 years of European Games has been all about. If someone had turned around and said to me 3 years ago I'd be going to places like Monaco and PSG and Fenerbahce and stuff like that, would have gone, don't be ridiculous. It's just been an absolute joy to go and watch us wherever we've been.
So on that,
yeah.
Have you been to, I mean, you've mentioned quite a few of the places that we've been in the last 3 years. Have you been have you been to all of them or the vast majority?
Yes.
Is that yes to all of them?
Yes.
Wow.
Injured, bro? Call the bros. Call the Skinner Brothers Accident and Injury Lawyers. They deal with the insurance companies so you don't have to. The bros are here to help you navigate what happens after an accident. Call 540-888-8888. Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers. Real support, clear steps, and a team that can take on the insurance company for you. Let the Skinner Brothers fight for you. 540-888-8888. That's 888-8888.
That is superb.
And then I rang Teale and annoyed him about it.
Which is very true.
I annoy him on several occasions, Rob. It's quite easy.
Yeah, he annoys us on several occasions.
Oh, crikey, yeah.
But we love him.
Yeah, we do.
So much love for this bloke. You know what I love about him, Lou, right?
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that we had such a good time writing the book and all that kind of stuff. And
I've got a story, actually.
Oh,
but why didn't you? Oh, I'm going to have to write volume 2 of the Shaun story.
I've got a story, but you do yours first, Rob.
You know what I love about him, right?
What?
He played for us for 4
years.
4 years.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, get it right.
He was loved by the fans as a player. He was a no-nonsense player
Yes.
who came up from the brutal world of non-league,
Yeah.
and never took for granted where he was. We
No.
loved him, even though we'd never heard of him when he first signed for us. Right, we loved him. But what I love about the bloke, apart from the fact that he's a great human being, is the fact that he and Carol and Nathan, they really do love the Villa.
Yeah, 100%.
As much as you do, as much as I do, as much as Rez does. I love it.
If somebody would turn around and tell me, by the way, the funniest thing about mine and Shaun's friendship and Carol is it's over my football shirt because of my nickname on the back of my football shirt. And this one decides to take the mick out of me over my nickname, and it just blossomed from there. And literally, to call him one of my best friends is massive. I ring him every couple of days, like even especially like now with Carol, who I absolutely love dearly. And we have like loads of banter. There's loads of banter, like even on Facebook, taking the mick out of one another. I mean, in particular, Teale, Wembley.
I know.
Wembley. When we went to Wembley last, what did you do? He got. Let's just say he got several on board, shall we? Guinnesses, and then like disappeared.
That's not like him.
Carol, then he's going, where is he? Where is he? Wasn't answering his phone. Couldn't get hold of him. Apparently went to the toilet and then got collared by some Villa fans and ended up in the breakfast room of the Hilton Hotel talking to everybody. To which I had to go in and get him out, which took another 15 minutes because he was too busy talking. So
yeah, to be fair, we did drink the bar dry of Guinness, didn't we?
You did, yes. He was. Put it this way: there was 3 pints waiting for him. He was treble parked.
I can imagine. So when you talk about Wembley, what game are we talking about? Please don't tell me the non-football League Cup final.
No, the playoff final, Rob. So the derby. We did the Fulham game where we got beat. Yeah, we did the Fulham game where we got beat.
Did 3 actually.
We did the derby. Yeah, we did actually. They're just great days. Wembley's great to go with your team and get the whole atmosphere in. And to be honest, I'm gutted I'm not going to Istanbul because the atmosphere will be frightening. And obviously I know so many of the Villa fans anyway. So, and like I said before, I was given an option of a ticket. Funny enough, yesterday. But it's wrong time for me with what Carl's going through and everything.
One thing I will say is Shaun is probably, and no disrespect to Ian Taylor, he is a bigger ambassador for our football club, and people do not realise. He speaks to everybody. He has photos with everybody. He stops and talks to everybody. Literally, I mean, I've taken the mick and just said, "Shall I just be your PA and I'll just stand here taking photos for you?"
Did you hear the first part of this?
I heard a little bit. I was unfortunately some of us was working down in the pub, so
He wouldn't know about that.
So I was saying this is the second time I'm going to say this, and the second time I'm going to really big him up here. I did the West Ham game when we beat them 2-0 a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
I did that game with John Gregory, and Teale was, on the pitch talking about stuff. He was really quite enthusiastic about it. I mean, obviously he's not enthusiastic about going to the bar, but his role as an ambassador, he really does, do it really well.
Yeah.
I have loads of, when I take them down to the pitch, I have loads of useless information for people while I'm down there. Like the pitch is green. Now that's a classic.
Yeah.
So,
Rob,
right.
if I may, you're paying tribute and you're bigging up Shaun. Something that comes to mind. Shaun mentioned earlier some of the biggest nights at Villa Park that he's experienced. Tranmere Rovers was one of them. Okay, 3-1 down, etc. And I was at that game, and I had the opportunity to be in the change room just before the team took to the pitch. I mean, you can imagine, the tension, the nerves, because it was a big occasion, Villa getting back to Wembley, and we all saw what it was like after the game, the pitch invasion when we did get back. Just prior to the game, Shaun, I don't know if you're going to remember this, mate. You and I were having a chat, and you said to me that your young lad had a dream the night before that you would score. Do you remember that?
No, I've slept since then. Yes.
You could have kept that going there and lied to us.
Yeah, I was expecting a lie there.
Yeah, I remember
Well, listen,
that, Rez.
if Rez remembers it, then it happened.
Yeah.
But you go through so many games in your career that you can't remember what everybody said to you every minute of every game.
The dream. You said your lad had mentioned to you that you were going to score a goal in that semi-final. This was before the game. It was even before you.
He obviously wasn't that. He obviously wasn't that confident because he didn't put a bet on it.
He was just a toddler, wasn't he? He was a youngster at the time. And then you go and score, Shaun.
Yeah. I mean, for goal. I mean, I scored 5 goals in my career in the 4 years I was at Villa. So,
Four of them were own goals.
That would go down as
I've got something to mention, and I know what response I'm going to get.
Go on then.
Go on.
Ian Wright.
Don't even go there. The story. Rob's heard the story about Wrighty. Wrighty was the one player that used to do my head in because he was a great finisher and he was very quick, but he had this horrible knack of talking to you on the pitch and just getting your concentration away, and then next thing you'd look and the ball had gone over the top and he'd been behind you on goal. I mean, there's a clip of Wrighty. I think he danced past 4 of us at Villa Park and slotted it. Me, Steve Stoughton, and a couple of others, and it's like, oh no! I've watched it back loads of times. And I think how have I got done by him again? But Wrighty,
the hat-trick? Was that when he scored the hat-trick?
It might well have been. They battered us on that day.
Rob, I remind him of it regular. I normally get 2 words said to me.
To be fair, on that run to Wembley in '94, we did beat them at Highbury at the time. So swings and roundabouts.
That lead up to the League Cup final, we played some hard teams in that. Who did we beat in the first round? I can't remember who it was. We beat over 2 legs.
Oh,
that's right. That's right.
I know.
Birmingham City, wasn't it? That's
of course.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we
did. Who are they?
Yeah, sorry, I made a different headphones turned off. I was getting a bit bored. Sorry, what was that?
To be fair though, they were not easy games against that 2-legged tie against Birmingham. They were not easy because obviously I'd never played in a derby in the Midlands, so I had no idea really how it was going to pan out, and neither did many of us because we were a brand new team as such. But then after that, the weird thing about our cup run is that every game was away from home. We never played at home. Mm-hmm. So we went to Sunderland, we went to Tottenham, we went to Arsenal. So it was no easy feat getting to Wembley that year. So, if I say it myself, we deserved it.
So you know what it's like to play in a cup final for Aston Villa, right?
Yeah, of course.
How will with a week to go? Obviously, we had Wembley week, and you guys went down early. And spent time in London and all that kind of stuff. We've got a game on Friday night, and then it's complete preparation for the Wednesday. The players? Will the mentality of the players be different to a normal, a league game? What goes on in a player's mind a few days before a major cup final that they're going to be playing in?
I think the only thing that sort of stands out with '94 was that although a lot of the lads had played in every game, league games as well, running up to the final, Ron kept things quite close to his chest when it came to the final itself. So we went down on the Thursday. We went out on the Thursday night as a club. So we went for a meal, a couple of beers, blah blah blah, and then we started training on the Friday. And Ron didn't actually name the team till the Saturday. which was quite strange, really, because everybody sort of knew week to week what the team was going to be. Because obviously we didn't have a 25-man squad rotation thing going on in them days. So you sort of you could more or less pick the team. It was the subs that probably were hanging a bit on whether they'd be named on the bench or not. So on the Saturday, it was nice to get that out of the way. We trained in the morning, and then Ron pulled us in and sort of said, "Yeah, you're in the team. You're playing, or you're not in the team." So you had those mixed emotions. The lads that had been named in the team obviously were quite happy and quite relaxed and knew what to expect. But the lads that either only made the bench or didn't even make the squad for the final, you could see the real disappointment. Gary Parker, obviously Ray Oughton, people like that who didn't even make the bench were gutted, and it was just difficult to cope with your euphoria of being in the team and the complete opposite not being in the team. And that's really the only thing I remember about it. The day-to-day before the training and all that was just par for the course, really. It was just what it was, it was what we did every week. And if I'm honest, was that there wasn't any pressure in the build-up. It didn't feel like we were going to a cup final in that sense, apart from we weren't at Bodymore, obviously. But nothing else really changed. You're together a lot longer, obviously, so you've got to pass the time in different ways. But apart from that, no, it was a normal run up to a game, albeit the biggest game of the season, the biggest game of my career. So yeah, it was what it was. I'm quite a laid back character, as most of you know anyway, so it was never really going to get me on my toes. It was just a case of do what I always do.
When you decided to put your head into Mark Bosnich in the training and break your nose in the process, did you feel that for that moment in time that you wouldn't make it, or
no?
Did you know you were going to be all right?
It was never going to be an issue. A broken nose is a broken nose is a broken nose. It doesn't change anything. It was quite funny from the fact that because of the gloves Bozzy was wearing, he literally took all the skin off my nose here. So I had this like bright red mark on my nose. So when we walked out of Wembley the next day, my nose was sort of like that with this great big red dot, and all the United lads just burst out laughing. They thought it was hilarious. So when we told them the tale about how it happened, they were like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Are you playing?" I went, "Yeah, of course I'm playing. How stupid can you be? It's a cup final. Why would you miss a cup final with a broken nose and it is what it is." So, I was quite happy to play. I had no fear of playing. Even getting whacked again didn't really bother me because it was already bust, so it couldn't get any worse, could it?
No, I don't suppose so. I love the way that you're just having a chat with people that work in the same industry as you on the centre circle at Wembley in front of 90,000 people. And there's a slot that everybody else that's on this call, in the stands, watching you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about obviously with the United thing is that they beat us to the title in '92. We all knew each other quite well, really. So I'd been to Florida and bumped into Giggsy in Florida, and so we stopped and had a drink and a chat. I knew Lee Sharp really well. We'd done different things together over a period of time, and you just get to know everybody. Probably the most aloof out of their squad was probably Cantona, but then he'd only been there a year by that stage, so he hadn't really come across us that much. But we all knew each other, Brian Robson, people like that. People you held in the utmost esteem anyway as players. Brian was England captain, so you look up to people like that anyway, whatever club you're at. So it was just great to be at Wembley on a pitch with what then was the best team in England by a country mile, really.
Yeah, absolutely they were, yeah.
And it was even more pleasing to turn them over and win the trophy.
Yeah, exactly. A few more hellos from people that have joined the show. Hi, Brian. And hello, John Stevenson, who's a Chelsea fan. So my name is Chelsea John. Thanks for joining us tonight. We get people from all over the place on this one. All right, so we've only got a few more minutes left on this one. It is now time for the predictions. Okay.
Oh, God.
So what's going to happen against Freiburg next week? So, Lou, tell us. Let's do the guess first and foremost. Tell us what the score is going to be and who will be on the score sheet.
I'm going to go 3-0 Villa.
Wow.
Ollie Watkins with a double and Mr. Morgan Rogers.
Good shout. Good shout.
Or John McGinn, because I can't leave John McGinn out.
Okay.
Okay.
So, quick one for you then, Lou. Does Watkins make the plane for the Americas?
Got to go.
And me, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. It was the kick up the arse that he needed in the last England games, and he's performed brilliantly since. Rez, what's your prediction?
3-1 Villa. I think we worth your 3 goals. Like Lou, I'm gonna go Rogers, Ollie, and John McGinn to score.
Okay. Shaun Teale. I'll come to Chris Browne in a minute. This is going to be fun, God. It's going to be fun when we go over to Browne.
Funny enough, before Lou said it, I was thinking 3-0 in my head. Only really because of what people have said about Freiburg, and they've lost a couple of the better players in the last week through injury, blah, blah, blah.
Been in an accident? Call the bros, bruh. Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers. Don't guess your next step, and don't let the insurance company rush you. The bros help protect your claim, handle the hassle, and fight for what's fair. 540-888-8888. If you were injured in an accident, get help now from the best. Call 540-888-8888. Put the number in your phone right now for when you need it. 888-8888. The Skinner Brothers.
He'll be back. So he's gone for 3-0, right?
Yeah, he's gone for 3-0.
Okay, I'm going for 4-2.
Ooh.
A lot of goals.
I've had that.
Probably Morgan Rogers will score.
Who's back?
So, was he finishing my sentence there? Or was he just,
Yeah.
I can't work out what he was doing there. So, come on, Shaun, your 3 goal scorers again. Who's going to score in that 3-0 win? We didn't quite get it.
He's gone again.
He's gone again.
He doesn't want to tell us. He's only going to tell us more.
Tell you about that Nokia 9010 or whatever it is. Playing up in it.
I don't know who's going to score.
What are you doing?
It's not. Whoa. Everybody else was on the.
You're in that bleeding phone.
Yes.
You Luddite. Honestly.
Oh, very God.
He's gone again.
He's gone.
Right.
He'll come back.
So I'm going 4-2. I think the people that we've just mentioned there, McGinn, Rogers and Watkins could be on the score sheet. So that'd be really good. Chris, obviously you've got a lot of experience about cup finals because you went to the Virtu one. Last show against Mighty Peterborough.
Chris, is this like sick coming in your mouth?
I'm actually
say the score. Is this like really sickly to say?
I'm going to put a picture up now, right? Which, now this shows what it's like to win a cup.
Stop it!
In HD. And in the 21st century.
But you do realise this 21st century lark, if we win, you are annihilated on that pathetic one.
No, not really. No.
You will be.
It's not a proper European Cup final, is it? So,
Practy.
no, I'm gonna surprise you here. I can't see Villa not losing, to be honest. I can't. But I think it'll be closer than you think because it's a cup final. I'm going to go for 1-0.
Okay. I know that we've all gone big scores, but none of us can take it for granted at all.
No.
We really, really can't. You know, it to all intents and purposes, we are the favourites and have been since the start of the campaign. Yeah. But, you know, none of us can take it for granted at all.
No.
Right, we are out of time, I'm afraid. All the fans that are travelling, be safe.
Thanks.
Have the greatest of times. Lou?
Yeah.
All the best from Bristol and all
Thank
your
you.
various stuff-offs. Rez
Yeah.
from Joburg.
Rez, I've messaged you. I've
All
messaged
right,
trying to
guys.
meet up with you. All right.
All right, Lou. Well,
All right.
good, be good to see you again. Yeah.
Okay.
We want photos of the meetup, and perhaps in a couple of weeks' time when we have our next one, end of season stuff, we'll have you guys back on and you can tell us all about
Please.
what went on. If you've got any more stories about Teale,
Not a
Lou,
problem. Not a problem.
I am willing to do volume 2 of his life
That'd be nice, because I did turn around and say to him, why wasn't I mentioned in the back of his book? I was really disappointed.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Mauritius as well, Rez. We'll get.
Yeah, we
Please bring us back on.
We could dub it Teale on Safari, and we'll tell you a small little story about Graham Fenton.
Yes, brilliant.
All right, mate.
Well, fantastic.
Brilliant story.
Guys,
Thank you for letting me come on, guys.
no problems. We wanted the fans on. We'll speak to you soon. Thanks for listening in to everybody that has done. As I say, up the Villa and be safe and have the greatest time. But let's beat Liverpool first and foremost.
Yes, please.
Correct.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks so
Cheers,
much,
everyone.
everybody.
Thanks for coming on.
Keep right on,
Take
everyone.
care, everyone.
Keep right on, everyone. Shut up.
Shut up.
That was very random, Chris.
I know, yeah. Just want to make sure I'm here.
Hey, it's friend Chris Mitchell. Injured? Get some quid pro bro time with the Skinner brothers. You focus on recovery, they focus on results. Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, they take the calls, organize the details, and push back when the insurance company tries to pay less than what's fair. Call 540-888-8888. The Skinner brothers handle the insurance company so you can focus on healing. Put it in your phone so it's handy. 540-888-8888.
Looking for the perfect rental? Discover top-rated stays loved by guests, rated highest by real guests through authentic reviews. These traveler-loved stays are recognized by the details that matter most and validated by real experiences. Choose confidently from rentals you can trust. Verbo. Book now a vacation rental loved by guests.